Hello, and welcome to the Infectious Disease Podcast from Clinical Care Options. I'm your host, Jennifer Blanchette. Today's episode is the fourth in a short series titled Steps to the Future, Present and Future of PrEP, featuring expert and patient insights on recent and ongoing advances in HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis. During this episode, Christian Rashad Pollard provides his perspectives as an individual currently taking daily oral PrEP on both current and potential future PrEP options. For a link to additional educational content from this program, including downloadable slides, please visit the show notes for this episode. Now let's go ahead and get started.
As a person who has made the decision to take daily oral pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, to protect myself from HIV infection, I understand the importance of this powerful prevention tool, and I feel that it could be beneficial to many more people at risk for HIV infection if there were broader knowledge and understanding about what it is and how it works. I now work in HIV prevention services, but before that, I was amongst those unaware of the availability of PrEP. In fact, only became aware of PrEP 3 to 4 years ago when a provider I worked with discussed it with me. For people who have heard about PrEP, many may not completely understand what it is. I find that one of the concerns people have is that the drugs used for PrEP, such as the FTC TDF or the FTC TAF, are also a part of HIV regimens. This may cause some people to think that a person taking PrEP has HIV and is taking that regimen as a treatment instead of taking it to prevent them from getting HIV. Since PrEP is a pill taken daily, just like most HIV medication, PrEP mimics taking medicine for HIV. And I think this similarity has caused some people to not want to be on PrEP because of the stigma that still surrounds HIV infection. I also feel that people who do not know about PrEP, probably including many of those who need it most, because they may not be undergoing routine screenings where they would hear about PrEP. When I first considered PrEP, it was somewhat difficult because I didn't want to be labeled as having HIV infection when I didn't have it, and because I didn't know as much about the virus as I do now. What would people say if they saw a bottle of FTC TDF or FTC TAF in my room? Their first thought would be, he is HIV positive, rather than he's taking PrEP. Luckily, the people around me are generally aware of PrEP for HIV, so this has not been a problem for me, but I have heard stories of people having to explain their PrEP medication to others. After I understood how PrEP works, how effective it is at preventing HIV, and what my risk of contracting HIV without PrEP was, the decision to take PrEP was a lot easier to make. 5 years ago, before I started taking PrEP, my risk of getting HIV was higher as I was single and living in Jackson, Mississippi, where HIV rates are high. The chances of contracting HIV was a lot greater than in many other people. Weighing that risk convinced me that PrEP was the right decision. When counseling others about considering PrEP, I like to ask an eye-opening question. Do you want to take a pill every day to prevent HIV, or do you want to take a pill every day to treat HIV? That helps to clarify the decision. I think being on PrEP lessens the anxiety that occurs during HIV screenings. You're not sitting there on pins and needles for 20 minutes waiting on a rapid test to come back negative, because you know that you have been taking PrEP as prescribed. If it works the way it should, you should be fine and you should be negative. You may have another sexually transmitted disease, but you won't have HIV. I was new to a relationship when I first started taking PrEP, And it was not a red flag for my partner because my partner had also been taking PrEP before. Since I did not have to convince him that this was PrEP and not an HIV medicine, we had an easier conversation. Regarding side effects of PrEP, I noticed that I could smell almost anything and everything for about a week and a half after switching from one PrEP regimen to another. But I wasn't sure if that had anything to do with the medicine. Other than that, I have not had any problems with PrEP. Based on my experiences, I would highly recommend PrEP for people at risk for HIV infection. Regarding the frequency of follow-up testing and laboratory monitoring, I was already getting tested for HIV every 3 months as part of my routine. So adjusting to PrEP follow-up was easy for me in that sense. My clinic visits are straightforward and included laboratory testing, making sure I am still HIV negative, and having my PrEP prescription refilled if needed. After the first appointment, it was, we'll see you again in 3 months. Since I was taking the medication, there were no real issues to address. The medicine was doing what it was supposed to do, and I have remained HIV negative. Currently, available daily oral PrEP works very well for me. However, I think that I would prefer a long-acting option that I could take less frequently, such as some of the options that are being evaluated in clinical trials, either injectables or oral options that are taken every month or every several months. A small PrEP implant that lasted for 1 year would be the ideal option, in my opinion. Even though many people already take medicine every day, for example, for high blood pressure or allergies, I struggled with taking PrEP every day in the beginning. I am excited that other less frequent dosage strategies are being developed. Having more options will allow each person to select a method of HIV prevention that works best for them. As a person who is taking PrEP and an advocate for HIV prevention services, I would love to see more people on PrEP. As a start, it would be great to see more people even just inquire about PrEP, because it is a lifesaver that everyone who wants and needs it should know about and be able to access it.
Thank you very much for sharing those insights. And a thanks to our listeners for joining in. As a reminder, to view the full educational program, Steps to the Future, Present and Future of PrEP, on the CCO website, click on the link in the show notes. Please be sure to check back regularly for more episodes on important infectious disease topics. Thank you.